Hi, and welcome to Coffee with Caleb Carter, episode 34. Episode 34. It's great to be with you. And today I actually have set a clock off to the side here. I hope you can't hear it ticking. It's an old clock. Because I want to start keeping these to 40 minutes. I got some notes from people saying when you go past 40, it gets a little, they didn't say boring, thank God, but it's a little cumbersome. So I'm going to watch the clock on the wall here, okay? And that's going to be tough because we have a jam-packed show today. Absolutely jam-packed show. Some great material for you. Before I get to it, I want to remind you, follow Caleb Carter on LinkedIn and on Facebook, all right, and on Rumble, all right? Follow every day. Every day I post a Caleb Carter minute. It's usually more like 4 or 5 minutes. Updates, giving you some thoughts on what's going on to help you make your decision, to make your move, and sometimes telling you about great property opportunities. And let me remind you at the outset, this is very important, that the Offshore Club does not make a penny off any of the properties I recommend to you. It is truly a labor of love. I research them every day and try and find places that I think you are going to enjoy being, okay? And then I'm going to tell you why that's so important and why it's so near and dear to my heart. First, let me give you an overview of what to expect today. We're going to have a segment here where I'm going to show you a property in a place where few people have ever been, okay? You understand what I mean by that when we get to it. A Caribbean island, that is really, kind of a small paradise on earth, okay? Heaven on earth. So look forward to that. It's coming in just a few minutes. I'm also going to do an interview with Joel Nagel, America's leading asset protection attorney, which is very, very important to you, okay? With the way things are now, and I'm definitely going to get to that in a minute, you need to protect your assets, okay? And that way you'll have money to invest in the island property I'm going to tell you about, which is a great price, by the way. And then I'm going to tell you about a special members-only event we're already planning for this coming spring, or kind of the end of the winter, okay? So you can have an exclusive getaway, okay? Long getaway weekend with your fellow Offshore Club members only, all right? Which is going to be very exciting because, believe me, I get all your notes on. You are like of a mind. You are great people together, and you're going to enjoy this. We're going to have to limit it to, 50 to 100 people, but nonetheless, you're going to enjoy this long weekend getaway, probably in Belize or Nicaragua, but I'll tell you more about that when we get to the end of the show. But first, let me start out with, it's kind of a Mad Max moment. Those of you who watch Coffee with Caleb Carter regularly, about the Mad Max moment where I give you some of the reasons, which are, increase every day, as to why you need to make your move offshore. I have to laugh because I remember when I was a kid, seeing John Kennedy be interviewed. It might have been by Dan Rather, I'm not sure. And it was in the Oval Office. Kennedy was in his rocking chair, for those who remember way back when. And the reporter asked him, what has been your biggest surprise? It was right after he assumed the presidency in 61, probably in March, April, May of 61. And the reporter said, what's been your biggest surprise? And he said, let me say that that the biggest surprise I've had is that things are as bad as I said they were. It was a very, very funny line. But actually, when I tell you about the Mad Max moments and the situation in the U.S. now, it's impossible to overstate it. It just is. It just is. And what reminded me of that and prompted me to want to share it with you is, folks, if you could see my inbox, it is hundreds of emails from people saying, Caleb Carter, you need to help me get out of here. Look, here's one, and you notice I've crossed out any reference to who it is, but private information there. I'm going to give you a chance to read it, okay? Folks, that is typical. That's typical. For those who couldn't read it quickly enough, the Caleb Carter, my husband and I are considering leaving the U.S. We have been looking at other countries, trying to narrow it down. I hear that every day. Sometimes it's even more emphatic. They'll just say, we need to get out. We need to get out now. What can you do for us? Look, listen to this one I just got. Just got this right before airtime, okay? Again, I've crossed out any private information because I protect your privacy. And let me read you this. Hello there. Do you have any information re good escape destinations in Europe or Africa? If not yet, I suggest that as something in which there may be strong interest, especially among UK nationals like myself. Thank you. I've received several from US citizens saying, what can you recommend for us in Europe or Africa? Yeah. And we're going to broaden into that. In a couple months, we'll broaden into that. Right now, as you know, just a couple months ago, we broadened from Central America down to South America. So we do all of Latin America in our escape route hunt for you. And eventually we will broaden into Europe and Africa. As a matter of fact, the co-chairman of, just FYI, the co-chairman of the offshore club, of your offshore club, Mike Cobb and Joel Nagel, are looking at creating one of their incredible residential resort communities in the Azores, Portugal. So the good news is on the way in that respect. But the bad news is the reason you need to get out. Look, I've got to be honest with you. I was a political operative in Washington, and really a top political operative. I don't say to brag. Somebody said, that's the kind of thing you should say in a confessional booth, and they're right. But I was for well over 40 years. I have never in my life seen things as bad as they are in this country as they are today. Okay. Never, not even close, not even at the worst of Jimmy Carter times when I first went to Washington. Not even close, not even close. Okay. And they're going to get worse. Look, here's where we are. And that's not politics, folks. That's just facts. What do I mean by that? We're printing 120 billion counterfeit dollars a month now. The Fed is 120 billion. With each one of those it's printed, the value of your dollars, as we've talked about before, goes down. Inflation in double digits and rising. It's up to almost 14% now. And even the grocery stores are admitting we're going to be raising prices every week now. Procter & Gamble just said that. The manufacturers everywhere, they're saying they're going up. Price of gasoline in California, regular gas is $8 a gallon. Come on. This is an absurdity. The store shelves, the shipping lanes are broken. The supply chain is broken, and it's going to get worse. Let me tell you one reason it's going to get worse, and the store shelves are going to get even emptier. Okay. The Biden regime is getting ready to issue a dictate to truck drivers that they have to get vaccinated to bring goods across the border. Now, why in the hell would you do that at a time when the supply chains are already devastated? The Fed just said that Biden's vaccine mandate has just devastated employment in this country. The Fed just said that. Okay? Well, I tell you, bad times can get even worse. I mean it. Taxes going through the ceiling. Look, that mileage tax of 10 cents a gallon, they're going to do it. And it's just the beginning. Excise taxes through the ceiling. And that's just not the Biden regime. That's federal, state, and local. I just read recently Nashville, it was in the Washington Post, Nashville's increasing their property tax to 34%. Who can afford that? Who can afford that at a time when our economy and the working man's life is already devastated? Well, the answer is nobody. Of course, the answer is nobody. I don't want to keep going on with that, but the final thing I want to say is our reputation worldwide is in the tank. Okay, don't ever believe what the mainstream media is telling you. Well, okay, Biden's popularity dipped to just mid 30% here, but overseas they love him. No, they don't, and they don't respect our country. I'm going to give you the name of one country that doesn't respect our country, and this is very important to you, and it helps you understand why you need to make your escape route. You need to make your plan B, because this country is serious. The country, and I know some of you already out there are already saying, we already know, China. China is serious about overtaking the U.S., not just leaving us in the dust, but devastating the U.S., okay? Devastating the U.S. Lest you doubt that, I want to show you a book. I had the blessing of interviewing the gentleman who wrote this book, okay? Ambassador Middendorf. He's in his 90s now. Mind is still incredibly sharp. I mean, look at this book he wrote. Incredible book. If you want to know what China's really up to, I'm going to take a minute to read you, if I may. It's one paragraph, it's a short paragraph, but it's important to you. Please believe me, it's important to you to totally understand this. Ready? Beijing's Made in China 2025 plan. That's what they're calling it. That's what the Chinese are calling it. The Made in China 2025 plan is a model of astonishing economic ambition and potential global hegemony, takeover, achieved. It would carry China to the top in 10 major areas. Ready? Robotics, ships, railway transport, next generation vehicles, air and space, medicine, new materials, electronics, energy equipment, and agricultural equipment. From the perspective of 2020, Made in China is almost potentially done deal, okay? It is more than a cry for help. It could be a potentially done deal. That's, folks, this is a very authoritative source here, and I want you to notice something he said, which some of you, I know your ears perked up. The Made in China 2025 major areas, air and space, okay? And I think some of you just said to yourself, whoa, wait a minute. They just announced well, they didn't announce, it was just discovered. They are they are launching supersonic missiles, okay? Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? Supersonic missiles fly at 5 times the speed of sound, and they can zigzag, and they transverse the entire Earth, okay? How serious is that for us at a time when our defense is being dismantled? How serious is that? Well, according to the president's, and how serious is the administration? Well, the president's spokesperson, when she was reminded of that and how dangerous it is, you know what she said? Brace yourself. Well, we welcome the competition. Maybe she didn't understand. Maybe she didn't quite understand what we're talking. That's not called competition. That's called deadly weaponry, okay? One person in the administration, though, was serious about it. He's not in Washington, so evidently he didn't get the memo as to what they were supposed to say, because Robert Wood, who's the Biden administration's envoy to the Geneva disarmament talks, said, and I'm quoting you, "We have absolutely no defense for this." Oh, but it's okay. Psaki said, "We welcome the competition." Somebody's dropping a damn missile on your head. That's not competition, for Pete's sake. Look, China is serious. China's serious. They are serious all over the world. In that book I just showed you, he points out in 23 countries now, their Belt and Road, the China's Belt and Road Initiative, in 23 countries is building massive infrastructure. Ports, okay? Remember what he just said in that paragraph? Nuclear reactors, everything you can imagine. That's what they're doing. In 84 countries, China now owns the rights to rare earth minerals. That's called lithium. That's what they make all the electric car batteries out of. China has cornered the market. And when Biden abandoned Afghanistan, he left behind $1 trillion lithium mine that the Afghanis immediately turned over to China. So that's where we are. And lest you think, well, why would we, what impact does that have here in Central and in Latin America? The Chinese now have replaced us as the major trade partners. Yeah, yeah, and they've invested 300 billion in infrastructure in Latin America. Now, why am I saying all this? Because look, China's on the march and we're in retreat. I'm not going to softball it here. It would be a disservice to you for me to softball it. Okay? They're advancing, we're retreating. They're on the march, we are left in the lurch. And you owe it to your family, to yourself, your family, your freedom, okay, your future, to make sure you're not the last people off the Titanic. I'm just telling you that, okay? Look, nobody is more patriotic than me. Look, I've got my patriotic shirt on here, okay? I am a Yankee Doodle dandy, have always been a real life nephew of my Uncle Sam, but enough's enough. You know, I remember one time I was in a meeting with Reagan, and he repeated something I'd heard him say before in an interview, so that in terms of the Democratic Party, and he said, I didn't leave the Democrat Party left me. Well, folks, you're not leaving America. America's left you. This is not the country that you supported, that you, perhaps you yourself, or certainly those you love, fought for, some died for. So it's time to look to the future. It's time to look for the future and make sure that you're taking care of yourself and those you love. So enough said. That's enough Mad Max. So where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? Let's go to the happy talk now. Okay? Let's go to the happy talk. Enough of this Mad Max, but it's necessary. It's necessary. And you know it is. Absolutely, it's necessary. I'd be letting you down if I didn't do it. So where do you go? Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? Okay, well, I think where you're going to go is south of the border. Where you're going to go is, this is the first time I've ever mentioned this place, but I think it's absolutely incredible. Okay, I did my homework for you. Here you go. See that little red circle there in the Eastern Caribbean? All right, we'll go see there. Dominica. Dominica. I know I said it right because I spelled it out phonetically for myself. Dominica. All right. You're saying, what the heck? Some of you might be saying, what the heck is Dominica? It is a little tiny paradise island, is what it is, that I think you might want to invest in. I don't make any money off of it. Your offshore club doesn't. This is what we do for you because you are a member of the offshore club. Dominica has 78,000 people total. It's a little island. It has a total GNP of under 700 million a year. Here's one of the nice things when you have a GNP that small. You can't afford a gigantic FBI, DHS, everything else type police force to be constantly descending upon people, okay? You can't afford it. You only have 700 million GNP or GDP. So that's fantastic. Very, very safe, wonderful people. The average income is $9,000 a year. What does that mean to you? Well, if the average income is only $9,000 a year, the prices can't be very high, can they? All right. Let's say you're somebody on a Social Security, $2,000 a month. Let's say that's $2,000 a month is 20. That means $24,000. You make almost 3 times as much as the average income there. You're going to live like a king or a queen, or both. Okay, Dominica. Once I started researching, I just said, I got to tell our offshore club members about this place. And so I just kept getting deeper into it, okay? And rather than my just telling you about it, though, let me show you a video put out by the people in Dominica themselves, okay? Those 70,000 or so people, that is absolutely, I'm going to use the word precious, okay? This is a video called ready? Is Dominica boring? That's right. Is Dominica boring? And it's only 4 minutes, so watch it, enjoy it. By the time you're done, you're going to say, that's a pretty darn good place. I might have to take a look at that. I'll be right back. Okay, Brian, insert the video on the memo I sent you. It's great, isn't it? It's just, I mean, precious is the only word for it. Those are happy, content people living a great life, and will be more than happy to have you join them, okay? And live the great life too, even if it's a little boring, okay? Which obviously it's not, obviously it's not. It's just very, very, very pleasant, all right? So you might say, well, okay, well, if I go there, what should I be looking for in terms of property? Glad you asked that. I'm glad you asked that, because here you go. From, I love Vivion.com. This is Vivion.com. You can type in Dominica, and you're going to find this property. As a matter of fact, just go type it in, and it's going to pop. There's only like 4 or 5 listings, so you'll see it right there. Here's the description. These are lots, beautiful ocean view lots, okay? Normally, I don't share with you information about lots, because I'm the kind of guy that likes the home already there. As you know, my wife and all, about 2 homes in Honduras, one in a wonderful small community, the other at La Ceiba Beach Club, right on the beach, gated, guarded community, not just ocean view, ocean front, $32,000. Write to me at carib-carter7 at gmail.com, and I'll put you in touch with Chris Barrett, the developer. You can work out your own deal with Chris if you want a place very similar to mine for the same price. Some a little more expensive, but incredible bargain prices, like mansions for a little over $100,000. But at any rate, normally I like the house there, but this one, these lots you may want to take a look at. All right, we're talking $60,000. You can get a lot there, located at Hatton Garden, an island community, who have dreams of living in paradise, either full or part-time, or building and renting. Here we go. Here's the description. A safe haven in this crazy world. Can all use that. Our island community provides a common garden with multiple fruit trees, fertile soil for your garden, weekly community farmers markets, a local fishery in the village for fresh fish. Oh man. And an abattoir that delivers fresh local meat. Very nice, on a weekly basis. In addition, you have access to the restaurant and pool at the adjacent hotel, and the freshwater Pagua River just a walk away, okay? And among the amenities, okay, you're going to like this. You're going to like this, okay? Particularly if you live in some of these outrageous places like I do in Pennsylvania, where the taxes are obscene. That's the word. Here we go. Ocean view, mountain view, close proximity to the airport, 3 miles, spring water, underground utilities. Here's one of the things you're going to like a lot. Ready? No property tax. None. Okay. I like that. And you're going to like it too. So there you have it. Here's where it's in the St. Andrew part of, there's the little tiny island itself. See my big check mark? That's St. Andrew right on the, well, every place there is on the ocean. Okay, so the St. Andrew state, I guess you would call it, in Dominica. And here's some pictures of the property you'd be buying, okay? Look at this. Look at this. You like that? Look at this. Look. This is right there, okay? It's within walking distance of your home. Look at this. Yeah. Picture yourself there. Picture yourself there. All right? So there you go. There you go. There is our $1,000 listing, Caribbean, $60,000. Check it out on Vivion. That's VIVUN.com. VIVUN.com. Type in the little box in the upper right-hand corner, Dominica, Dominica. I'm a little trouble spelling that. It's not Dominica, it's Dominica, as you heard in the video we just watched. Just check it out. You know, I'll be honest with you, my wife and I already bought 2 homes in Honduras. I would consider making this an investment. I think it's a great long-term investment, particularly when you have all these people in this country, record-setting number of people who are saying, we're getting out of here. We're looking for somewhere else to go. They are going to like this place, okay? They're going to like this place. So there you have it. It is a great opportunity there. There's your as I said, your $1,000 listing, Caribbean. And you might say, okay, but where am I going to get the money of the $60,000? Well, I got good news for you. And it's coming up in an interview I just did yesterday, as a matter of fact, for Offshore Club, offshore.club, your offshore club. With, as I said, Joel Nagel, America's #1 asset protection attorney, who also he tells you how to protect your assets, but he's pretty smart about helping you accumulate some assets too. Okay, and what I've done is I've taken the interview from yesterday, which is for Joel's new show, by the way, every Thursday at 2 o'clock. Joel's show is called Wealth Fortress Report, okay, and I get the honor of co-hosting it, as you'll see in this upcoming video. It's a great show where he gives away information that he charges clients very substantial amounts of money for. And you're going to get it free every week on Wealth Fortress Report with Clues and Nagel, okay? And to show you how absolutely true that is, now we're going to play just a segment, just this 7 or 8 minute segment of the inaugural episode that we just did this past Thursday. And you're going to learn some stuff from this that you can take to the bank and also prevent the bank or anyone else from taking from you, okay, particularly government. When the government tells you that they just want to go after the fabulously wealthy, and so they're coming after your bank account if you have $600, you got a problem. You got a problem. That's what's known as a lie. The IRS, they are tripling the IRS budget to send their agents everywhere in the country, including bang, 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 knock, knock, knock. We notice you spent $600 and we're not happy with it. Come on. So this video, Joel's Wealth Fortress Report, Joel Nagel's every Thursday at 2. And here's an excerpt from the inaugural episode. Roll it, Brian. Joel is an incredibly bright guy. I love him because he's one of us. He talks our language. Joel came from, he came from nothing and worked his way up, so he can help you do the same, okay? And once you get there, he can help make sure that nobody takes the money that you've worked so hard for. So it's very important. Watch it every Thursday at 2 o'clock at youroffshore.club. Joel Nagel's Wealth Fortress Report. I promised you we're almost out of time. Jeez, yeah. We're almost out of time, and I promised you that I would tell you about an upcoming event. Okay, I've talked about this with the board of Your Offshore Club, that we need to start getting you all together, giving you the opportunity to come together, talk, learn from experts from around the world. And so we're going to start that probably next March, okay, probably mid-March. That seems a little ways away, but it's really not. So circle it on your calendar now, okay? In mid-March, you are going to be invited, or you're invited right now, and you'll get the invitation. A lot of information about it between now and then. You know how much I love to write to you. I hope you've subscribed to the Offshore Club, because that way, which is free, that way you get my emails that I send you a couple times a week. Very personal, not formal. They're between me and you, and so I think you're gonna like them. So you'll get some emails filling in on the details of this getaway weekend, long getaway weekend We're going to get together for free for a offshore club conference, and you'll meet some of the people you've seen on videos: Mike Cobb, Joel Nagel, uh, Alyssa, Rachel, Pat Hebert, all these wonderful people you're going to get to meet and spend time with, okay? As we talk about your opportunities offshore, answer your questions, get your comments. This is a fellowship, okay? My dad was a minister. He loved fellowshipping. Well, we're going to fellowship at this 3-day free conference, okay? We're going to find ways so that you pay almost next to nothing, okay? And you're going to enjoy every second of it. It's going to be a entertaining, informative, and you're going to get to meet and fellowship with like-minded people. You just can't beat that. So I'm going to keep you posted, probably in Belize or Nicaragua. But we'll do it, and we'll enjoy every single second of it. And I sure as heck look forward to meeting you, okay? I really do. This is just, it's just going to be wonderful. Circle mid-March, okay? And I'll keep you informed. Every week, we like to close with a motivation, okay? Motivational piece. So this week, since we're already out of time, I've actually gone over time, despite my promise. This is a motivation minute, okay? Short little video motivation minute from one of my favorite people, Jocko Willink. Okay, those of you know who he is are already laughing because he's tough. He is the SEAL commander, and he's going to tell you one of my favorite sections. My wife loves this section. It's 1 minute long. Lies, lies, lies. And the whole essence is never lie to yourself. Sometimes you have to do the tough thing. Don't give yourself any outs. Don't give yourself any excuses. Never lie to yourself. So here we go with your motivation minute for this week's Coffee with Caleb Carter. Roll it, Brian. All right, come back, and that's it. There you go. Already over time, so I'm going to try and talk real fast, get off here. Seriously, I appreciate your coming by once again. It's always great to visit with you. It's time for you to start living the good life at a great price in the sun, the sand, and the surf. So let's do this thing.